So nice of Uncle Joe and the first housekeeper to just turn up to the Uvalde, Texas site and, you know what, hey, pay respects. Still waiting for that visit to Waukesha, but hey, you know what, hey, you just pick and choose them, right? So I know it's a tragedy and all that stuff, and I don't want to downplay any of that stuff. We're just talking about the response to it. So I wonder if we're going to be doing similar visits to places of mass shooting. Are you going to check out Chicago? Because this is what's happened from Friday night through Sunday. We don't have the complete weekend stats or everything out quite yet, but 21 shot, 4 dead across Chicago over Memorial Day weekend. I doubt that Biden's gonna visit out there. Or is he going to head on out to Las Vegas? Not to play the slots or anything like that, where 6 were killed, 12 were wounded. Or did he go out to Sacramento? You guys remember that shooting as well? The Sacramento shooting, where a late night after a club, a couple of brothers literally and figuratively rolled up and just opened fire out there. That story just came and went in the headlines. But yeah, no, don't worry about that. Just continue to stump and continue to stand on the corpses of kids in order to push your stupid gun control pet projects. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. Biden and Lady Biden arrived in Uvalde, Texas on Sunday to pay respects to the victims who were killed during last week's mass shooting at the as the Justice Department signaled it would initiate a federal review of the police response. We're going to be talking about that response because that is head-scratching, to say the least. Reporters on the scene they keep changing the spelling of that. And Uvalde said that the Bidens arrived in the Texas city on Sunday morning. Biden visited the makeshift memorial outside Robb Elementary School. Before he went to attend Mass at the Catholic Church. Yeah, that's wonderful. You're a fantastic human being for doing that. Biden was also scheduled to meet with family members at a community center and later meet with first responders at local airport. Yada, yada, yada. I want to get to the response because I don't care what Biden has to say about the grandstanding. He is disingenuous, to say the least. So I've seen some admissions from the sheriff's department as to what exactly happened. And if we're going to be looking at reform off this, because something should happen, right? You just shouldn't be making these decisions when emotions are running high, because that's what children and Democrats do. Oh, what's the difference? Why be redundant? No, but I'm on many people's side on this one, including the officials in Texas specifically. Arm the teachers or get armed guards. That could have prevented this from happening. A fucking degenerate, okay? A kid who is fucked up 7 ways from Sunday, okay? I know he was an of-age adult, okay? He just came from a broken home. Oh, he had all of the most up-to-date technology. He had a brand new iPhone. He had a brand new truck and everything like that. He had all of his amenities paid for. He had all of the wealth he could properly muster. But he was still fucked up here because he was lacking a proper foundation and his mental health was not being addressed or picked up by the public school system, which he just graduated from. The warning signs were there. The warning signs were plenty. But nope, he was just pass through the system, okay? Just churn them out. Make another pod-living bug eater. Just go ahead and continue to try to repopulate the tax base out there, you fucking sycophants. Yep. Well, I want to have these talks about mental health until some mental health crisis like this bubbles up to the surface, and then, no, just blame all the symptoms out there. And then you have these big-brained retards. Oh, this is why we need to start voting for more Democrats. Well, who are in charge right now? Well, Democrats actually care about kids, and stupid Republicans, all they want to talk about is their Second Amendment. They just want to keep their guns because they're just penis extenders. And whatever other dumb shit they're talking about. Remember, yeah, Democrats are the party that care about kids, right? The kids, you know, that they want to constantly try to sexualize by using their fucking groomer talks. Because last week, what was it? Couple weeks ago, right? A couple weeks ago in Florida, don't say gay. Oh, we just want to have these logical conversations with a kindergarten through grade 3 kids, right? Logical conversations like, it's all right if you think that a teacher's been telling you enough stuff where you think that you were born in the opposite body. Don't worry, you can just go ahead and make irreversible changes to your body and nothing wrong will possibly happen. We've researched this for days. Or yes, the same Democratic Party, which a couple of weeks ago they were still, stumping around with the signs that now say that sensible gun control. Well, actually, they aren't saying this. They're just screaming it like emotional fucking speds, screaming it through their triple masks. Or have they given up on that? Is that just passe at this point? Are we like 5 or 6 things down the road? They're currently supporting the current thing by being behind gun control once again. Just flipping their protest sign that has "Our bodies, our choice" to "sensible gun control now." Yeah, exactly. Democrats care about kids, unless of course they're in utero, then you have the right to just hammer them out with a fucking chisel. Or if you're California, hey, don't worry about it. You'll have up to like 7 weeks afterwards to just figure that out. You can put it through a fucking garbage disposal if you're just having second thoughts. So don't give me that shit. But let's get to the response here, because fucking there were big problems here. So if we're going to be making any sort of changes, it should be proper training and structural changes to police departments. I'd be on board with that. I've been on board with that for a long time. Better funding and better training and consistent training, okay? And better quality candidates for police departments, sheriff's departments, anything like that that's out there. Texas Department of Public Safety Director Steve McCraw admitted Friday that there was a wrong decision to not engage Texas mass shooter Salvador Ramos sooner. When asked why police at Robb Elementary didn't act quicker, McCraw told reporters at a news conference that on-the-scene commander at the time believed that it had transitioned from an active shooter to a barricaded subject. I would imagine that there's probably windows or something in the classroom that they figured that he was probably held up in, okay? I don't know how big this school is or what the floor plan is specifically, but you know what else probably would have fixed that situation? Probably having cameras in classrooms, that would also help too. So if you're looking into that, that'd be great. A decision was made on the scene. I wasn't there. Oh, okay, cool. Just trying to distance yourself from that. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you're in charge of this stuff, so take responsibility for it, dude. This was a barricaded subject situation. There was time to retrieve the keys and wait for a tactical team with the equipment to go ahead and breach the door and take on the subject, he said at that point. That was the decision. That was the thought process. McCraw said in hindsight, it was not the right decision. Yeah, no shit. It was a wrong decision. There was no excuse for that, referring to the lack of engaging Ramos sooner. I wasn't there, but I'm just telling you. From what we know, that we believe there should have been an entry as soon as you can. Yeah, exactly. You have an entire team, an entire armed team, and you have, one shooter? Okay, even if it's just a barricaded situation, they're still in there with hostages. There are many more of you that are skilled, that are trained, and you didn't act sooner. When there are also reports of 911 calls being made from inside the classroom. It was a bad mistake, and I know that it might just be a one-off situation, but when you're faced with those choices like that, they are few and far between, and you can't afford to be making the wrong decision at any time. All right, so Greg Abbott apparently also met with Biden on Sunday, or was at least in the same vicinity of him. I don't know if they made a joint statement or anything like that, but he is talking about new laws. I want to know exactly what laws he's talking about, because there should be some reform. Just depends on what type of reform we're talking here. New laws will be passed after the shooting in an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Governor Greg Abbott said on May 27th. Do we expect any laws to come out of this devastating crime? The answer is yes, absolutely yes. Those laws will be in multiple different subject areas, he added. Now, one area of making schools safer, he also wants laws that address the array of healthcare issues that relate to those who commit gun crimes. Yeah, no, exactly. Make that distinction, though, that there's two different paths here, okay? There's a mental health issue going on. It just shouldn't be impacting the Second Amendment, okay? It seems to be what he's making here. I just want clarification. The status quo is unacceptable. Yeah, no, exactly. Evolve or die. This crime is unacceptable. We're not going to be here and talking about it and not do anything about it. We will be looking for the best laws that we can get passed to make our communities and schools safer. Okay. Always hesitant whenever the government says that we're just trying to keep people safe. Always just a little bit of an uneasy statement. Some legislatures and governors see the need for bills to curb access to guns. That's retarded. But Abbott suggested that he isn't of the same mind. Pressed on whether he'd support legislation to tighten background checks. Like what? They're already mandatory, you fucking tards. Abbott said background checks can be avoided. More comprehensive, where you don't have to show up and give blood? What are we doing? pointing to how the Dimitrios Pagazerts, a 17, he's not 71, that's dyslexia, who carried out the shooting in Santa Fe, Texas in 2018, took the gun he used, from a parent. Anyone who suggests, well, maybe we should focus on background checks as opposed to mental health, I suggest you is mistaken. Okay? The Republican also brushed aside the talks about moving the legal age to buy rifles to 21. No, exactly. If some cretin wants to do some fucking damage, he's still going to do it. He could be like Ethan Klein and call for a bombing of the NRA convention. Fucking sped. That video would still be up on YouTube if it wasn't for the outcrying of like, what the fuck is going on? If anybody else would have done that on channel, okay, on stream, they would have had their channel nuked. But he just had his video taken down. I don't know if it's a strike or anything like that. I doubt it. But yeah, crazy motherfuckers are going to do crazy things to accomplish crazy goals, okay? So what do you address there? What is the consistent through line? Crazy. How about you address that? Seems pretty logical, right? State Senator Roland Gutierrez, a Democrat, interrupted the briefing to urge Abbott to call for a special session so lawmakers can reconvene. Yes, exactly. While emotions are at the peak right now, that's the best time to make wide-ranging, sweeping reforms, right? No. Cooler heads will prevail. Think rational. Think long-term. Don't just think, oh my god, people are calling for gun reforms right now and I'm on Twitter and that's what I think. Fuck off. We have to do something, Gutierrez said, adding that he feels like, merch, 18-year-olds shouldn't have guns. Yeah, no, exactly. For how long now have kids, had guns and not shot things up? How about that? How about like the overwhelming majority and the statistical anomalies? The crazy people shouldn't be having the guns. How about that? Wow. How about you do something about that? How many kids up till like the past couple of decades brought guns to school illegally and went hunting or shooting after class? Or get this one, in some places they actually had ranges at their school. It was weird, huh? What a strange concept. And he fucking knows this. He's just trying to grandstand right now. Texas Democratic Party, meanwhile, called for a bill that would ban assault weapons. What do you mean like that? Which it did not define. No, exactly. Assault weapons. That's nice. It's Texas. You're the Democratic Party. You're supposed to be you're supposed to be the party of the people. But that's not it anymore. They're the party of the elites. They don't give a fuck. They're the party of Austin, Texas. That's it. Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan, that's an unfortunate name, a Republican, has largely aligned with Abbott, saying he thinks the focus should be on mental health legislation as opposed to bill concerning firearms. Yep, exactly. Then also just putting guards at the places that deserve them, okay? I don't think, however old that fucking dead shooter is, I don't think he went to a grade school. I'm just thinking. And if he showed up with ill intent, he would have been dealt with appropriately. Wouldn't had to have relied on a bunch of weak police officers not being able to make the proper decision, okay? They would have heard shots, and they would have taken care of the problem before anybody had to die. But there's some other brainlet takes that are out there, so I'll be talking about them real soon at the federal level. If Texas wants to do something about this tragedy, Texas is totally within the purview, but to take this to a federal level, that's a bridge too far. But just leave it up to Democrats and some rhinos to make some fucking brainlet decisions. With all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.